Hey everybody, Austin here again doing a sort of off-the-cuff kind of video. There's something I wanted to talk about and celebrate actually is, as of October this past year, or this year, I've actually been making YouTube videos for a decade now, like literally a decade. My first main video that I uploaded and to actually start my YouTube channel and hope, that people watch it and blah, 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 was my Doom Atari Jaguar gameplay and talk video from October 8th, 2009. I had actually wanted to try to do this video sooner, but, I just had a lot of other stuff going on. But here we are. Yeah, it's been, as of October, it has been 10 years since I've uploaded my first, real YouTube video. As you can see on my dashboard here, I've got a couple of other really early webcam videos. I had actually recorded sometime in 2000 or 2001, and I had them uploaded to my channel just to store them here. But my gameplay and talk video, my first gameplay and talk video, which eventually became my channel name, was Doom for the Atari Jaguar. And then I followed it up with stuff like Pitfall the Mayan Adventure. I did some other random stuff that is no longer here because I went through a deletion phase later on in my YouTube life. But I did hold on to these first couple of videos, Doom Atari Jaguar and Pitfall the Mayan Adventure Atari Jaguar. And so yeah, I thought, given that it's been 10 years, it would be kind of fun to just sort of do a casual off the cuff, just sort of tour back through my channel over the years and to just talk about various different types of videos that I've done over the years and, talk about the evolution of my channel. From these early gameplay and talks to what we now have is just, dedicated Let's Play walkthroughs and, live streams. But yeah, for those of you guys that have not seen these early videos, what I used to do when I started out was I had a camcorder and I would point it at the television and just do an off-the-cuff sort of gameplay / review. And which is why I called them just gameplay and talk, because I'm playing the game and I'm talking about it. They were definitely review focused. They were, opinion focused. I wanted to talk about good aspects of a game and then bad aspects of a game, things like that. And it was just all off the cuff. And, 10 years later, I'm still doing most of my stuff completely off the cuff. You could say I've gotten a little bit better at doing off the cuff stuff as I've, aged here on YouTube, but in the early days it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad, but I was motivated to do it. I had been watching a lot of channels at the time, like Luke Morris and Gamester81 and Steve Benway and guys like that, that had started a year or two before me, and I was like, I could do that too. I've got a lot of gaming knowledge. I've had dozens and dozens of different game consoles. I've had thousands of games in my collection. Up to that point in time, I have a lot of experience, and so there was a lot I could talk about. And I sort of went for the lowest hanging fruit, and because I had no idea about video editing or recording or anything like that at the time, I was a complete newbie. I went out and bought a camcorder, and it is actually this guy right here. I actually still have my original camcorder that I started on YouTube with. So this cost me, I think, about $100 or $150 back in 2009. Again, I wasn't really very affluent in terms of my finances, and so I slapped this on my Macy's credit card. Yes, Macy's of all places. It was the only credit card I had at the time. I would use it for clothing and stuff like that. But then I found out on their website they had electronics too, and so I saw this camcorder here. I think it does 720p, and I slapped it on the old Macy's credit card. So this is how I got started on YouTube, this little guy right here. And it didn't even come with a tripod to start. So what I had to do is basically put this on shoe boxes or books. I would tile them up and pile them up so the camera was even with the television. And then that's how I would record my gameplay videos. Now, there was no dedicated mic, that I ran the audio out to. So this picked up all the audio, the gameplay, and my voice and everything like that. And so not really the best way to get started. And this is one of my, I guess you could say, many follies in my YouTube quote unquote career. But it's just because I didn't know any better, and I would make a lot of other follies just because, again, I didn't know any better. But this got me started, and it got my channel rolling. It even still has the 4 gigabyte. Yeah, it's 4 gigabyte, a 4 gigabyte SD card in there, which is super tiny by today's standards. But by 2009 standards, it was okay, and it got the job done. In the beginning of YouTube as well, you could only record videos up to 10 minutes. And if you went just a couple seconds over 10 minutes, YouTube would not take your video. And so you'll notice that my Doom gameplay video is 10 minutes and 1 second. I think if I went to 10 minutes and 2 seconds, it would have actually denied the video completely. So no, that's not entirely true, because Pitfall is 10 minutes and 4 seconds. So yeah, there was some arbitrary threshold where YouTube, you know, just slightly over 10 minutes, YouTube would just cancel your video completely. So, but that's actually how I got started on YouTube. You know, it was 2009. I was living in a friend's basement at the time, and you know, I had bought this camcorder, and I had reobtained an Atari Jaguar. So it was a console I really wanted to talk about. So a bunch of my early videos were Jaguar videos. And I actually did a lot of other casual look-ats or gameplay and talks after these, but there was a point in time, probably 2011, 2012, where I went through a lot of my old videos and just deleted them because I wasn't happy with the quality. But a couple of these early ones I left just because it's history right here, you know. But I kind of regret deleting all my other videos because there's not as much to show off. So what I ended up doing later on, not too long after, probably just a few months after this, is I started doing system overview videos, and they were really janky. They were very lots of camera shake and whatnot. But I would talk about like the history of a console and you know, talk about some of its game library and things like that. And I do actually have some of those backed up, not on YouTube. I do have them backed up elsewhere, so I'll flash those. Another one I did shortly after was this right here. You can see all these videos with the Tapwave Zodiac. So what I did was I just mounted my camera towards the screen. And actually for these, I had moved back in with my parents for a short while, and my dad had a camera as well that was actually better than my camcorder. And so I think I actually used his camera on these videos. But it's the same kind of concept. I basically am just talking about the various games on the system, showing them off, you know, gameplay and talks, and you know, talking about the hardware and things like that. In the early days of YouTube, I did a lot of random stuff as well, and this actually kind of was normal for this first several years of my channel. Even going into more recent times, you know, I did my first pickups video in March 20th, 2010. And then I also did just basic gameplay videos with no talk. So I recorded a bunch of those. And those are actually kind of popular videos at one point in time. Like my Quake 3 Arena gameplay video is still my highest viewed video on my channel by far. And it was one of the earlier videos I did. But this is something I eventually split out into a different channel, a gameplay only channel, but it wasn't years until I did that. So a lot of my early videos were also just straight gameplay videos, no talking, nothing like that. And here's my Quake 3 Arena gameplay video, 405,000 views. We just eclipsed 400,000 over these last couple of weeks, I guess. Yeah, so there used to be tag videos and stuff like that. So in the early days of YouTube, people would, you know, make tag videos or response videos. So, you know, someone would make a video saying, hey, blah, 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 I've got this topic I want to talk about. And then they talk about it. And then they say, what do you think? Make a video response. And so I did just that. I had done some video responses back then. Some other random stuff, like right here, I've got a arcade that you know, that had popped up in one of the local malls, and it had a Mortal Kombat 2 in it. So it was fun, you know, recording that and then showing it off. Mega Drive 2 unboxing. You know, I had some other stuff. Another video response here to Maximum RD, who's still around. And a bunch of other unboxings, system overviews of really crappy clone consoles, just all sorts of stuff. I was really on with the system overviews back in the early days of YouTube in the first year I was around. System overview, Yobo FC16 Go, system overview, At Games Arcade Motion, system overview, the Zap It Game Wave system. This one was actually kind of fun because I got my mom on that one and she played some quiz games with me. It was pretty entertaining. So unboxing the Nintendo Wii, and that is the end of 2010 is where I started doing actual direct capture. So I had gotten my first capture card, which I actually think I still have here somewhere. I don't remember what I did with it. But my very first game capture, direct game capture, from a capture card was Super Castlevania 4, and this is where I started doing long play videos on my channel. So from late 2010 into 2011, 2012, I was doing dedicated long play videos with commentaries added on top. So the first one was Super Castlevania 4. Then I did just a straight gameplay video of Counter Force for the Wii, and then my second long play was Doom for the Sega 32X, and those were kind of turning points for my channel. So the first, year or so, I was mainly just doing like system overviews and then gameplay and talks of games themselves, basically these casual reviews. And then at the end of 2010, I started doing, in the beginning of 2011, I started doing actual dedicated long play videos because, well, I had been a collector and stuff like that and whatnot. I had always been a gamer at heart, too. It was always about the gameplay for me, despite having, lots of games in my collection at various points in time. So yeah, it was all about the gameplay for me, and that's where the kind of like the long plays came around. And I tried some more focused reviews as well. Like I've got this review of Super Mario All-Stars for the Wii, Soul Fighter for the Dreamcast, Skyhammer for the Jaguar. They're not really very good at all, honestly, but it was the closest thing I got to, say, scripted content in the earlier days of YouTube. But in between that, I have, more long plays, Mega Man 2 for the NES, Ninja Gaiden for the NES, and Castlevania for the NES. This is going to be very familiar stuff for some of you guys. You guys know I love these games, and that's where I started with my dedicated playthroughs on my channel. And I had a bunch of other casual stuff, like I said. My channel was all over the place in the early days. Like, my brother is just shredding out here. This is 10 years old, or 10 years ago, Brandon, shredding at his apartment before we went out to the bar or something like that. And then with my capture setup, I tried getting into more like dedicated scripted reviews and things like that. So I've got Patonk for 3DO, which was one of my earliest actually scripted videos. I actually spent an entire afternoon sitting there, scripting it together. Likewise with my Nintendo Virtual Boy system review, and then Raystorm for PC, and then a What is Tate video. And then probably the biggest one at the time was my Super Adventure Island review, which I had posted over to RetroWare TV. They had a user submission section back in the day, and that one was featured on their website for a while. And then my Raystorm review was actually featured on GameTrailers.com. They had a user submission section as well, which is really awesome. I really miss those early days of being able to submit your videos to various websites and have them featured. Okay, so moving on to the next page. What I ended up doing later on is I had a sort of branding shift. So I had started my channel, and all the videos were called Gameplay and Talks. Either Gameplay and Talks or System Overviews. And the Gameplay and Talks were for just basic, games. Not system reviews or anything like that. And at that time, I actually started labeling everything on my channel as Gameplay and Talk. So sometime in 2011, that's where I started branding my channel as Gameplay and Talk. I don't think it was the best name I could have picked at the time. But I've just kind of lived with it, and I've kind of stuck with it. And I think 10 years later, it's probably not a great idea to switch my channel name, although I have thought about it, and I'm going to continue to think about it. But with that branding shift, I wanted more consistency between video types, like branding the video types themselves. So the classic gameplay and talk videos that I would do turned into a casual look at. So all these casual look at videos are much like my original gameplay and talk videos, except there's just different branding, more consistent branding. And then I also started to implement certain, forms of video editing and whatnot. So I actually had originally started with my camcorder. There was no video editing at all. And then something I failed to mention is during late 2010, I discovered Windows Movie Maker, which was my first video editing suite. And then if we go back to my reviews, but yeah, my scripted reviews from, around that time, I had actually dabbled with a free piece of video editing software, not Windows Movie Maker, but there was another one that was better, and I completely forgot what the name of it was. So that's where I started getting used to, started learning video editing a little bit. Windows Movie Maker gave me like the fundamentals, like chopping, footage, adding audio and piecing that stuff together for just very basic stuff. But this other piece of software I was able to use was much more advanced, and I was able to do some nice transitions and stuff like that, and layers on, say, Super Adventure Island and what is Tate and things like that. Later on that year, I actually picked up Sony Vegas. It was the consumer grade version, HD Movie Studio Platinum HD or something like that. It's a mouthful. And then that became my main piece of video editing software for the next several years, or actually the next year, because the year after that I upgraded to Sony Vegas Pro, which I've actually been primarily using ever since. I've upgraded a couple of times to, newer versions. But yeah, so I'm on more professional video editing software. But yeah, that transition from Windows Movie Maker into, I think it was actually VideoPad is what the second piece of software was called, now that I think about it, to Sony Vegas, and then to Sony Vegas Pro, that basically, that that evolution, I learned video editing relatively quickly up, between those pieces of software. And what actually helped with that is I had actually already been familiar with audio editing, with DAWs like Reason or Ableton Live or something like that. And so, learning video editing was actually kind of a natural transition for me, having been very comfortable with audio editing at the time. So, but yeah, so you'll notice a couple of other things here. I've got pickups videos. I continued doing pickups for a little while. That was a popular thing among retro gamers back in the day. Although in hindsight, it was fun to do them, but they never really got many views. Like this one is sitting here at 177 views. And I've made it unlisted. I made a lot of these videos unlisted because I'm just not really happy with their quality and whatnot. Some of them are still public. Others are unlisted because they're not up to snuff. But in 2011, I continued working on scripted stuff. I started doing bigger videos like the CDI mouse. This was a really big video for me. Even though it's actually only 6 minutes long, there's a lot of editing, a lot of footage I had to capture and things like that. And then that should have led into another review, which was Candy Catcher for the Atari 2600. Another solid little scripted video. And I had really started going like hard on scripted videos for a little while. Because they were getting featured on places like Game Trailers, or they were getting featured on Retroware TV's user submission sections. But then out of nowhere, I just completely lost interest in doing them for some reason. Like Tetris CDI was another, good scripted review for myself. I kept doing casual look ats in between, and then as well as dedicated long plays with commentaries. The Space Invaders Jack Specific review was another one, with lots of editing and stuff like that. And yeah, I just kind of kept going with that. I was doing casual reviews. I was trying to get better with the scripted material and properly edited stuff. Here in 2012, almost 3 years later, I was sitting at 700 subscribers, which is really funny to think about. Sitting as of doing this video, I'm getting close to 10,000. So those first 3 years, I was not gaining subscribers very quickly at all, but, I was having fun with it. I've had some sense of purpose with, uploading YouTube videos. Some people seem to like it, so I just kept going with it. I kept going. I was gung-ho about it, despite, the slow growth. Yeah, 3 years, 700 subscribers. I know newer people that that in a year they hit 1,000. So for me, it was 3 years almost. I hit close to 1,000. So more pickups videos. Yeah, like the early days of YouTube for me, it was like, the casual look at the gameplay and talks, system overviews, just really casual off the cuff stuff with some, random unboxings and things like that. At the time, I had also actually been doing the Implant Games podcast. So that podcast, I think, is still going on, and the first 70 episodes, I was the co-host, so this was kind of that. I actually used to have all those early episodes posted on my channel, but that's another set of videos I just blew away after a point. But yeah, just, this is kind of how, like, my early days of the channel were. The first few years, lots of casual reviews. I tried getting into scripted content and was really gung-ho about that. But then, sometime 2012, I guess I just lost motivation, and I was just grabbing the lowest hanging fruit instead of really putting in real effort. Which if I had a regret regarding all my YouTube stuff, it was not putting all the effort into scripted content and then just sticking here with just really casual off the cuff stuff that no one really cares about. Low views, it's not really evergreen content for the most part. But I will say, that said, 2012 was another turning point for my channel because you have this, Let's Play Dai Makai Miura, or Ghouls and Ghosts for the NEC Super Graphics. This was my very first Let's Play video. And so, I was still focusing on long plays at the time, but the thing about long play videos is that you have to record the gameplay, but then you also have to go back, watch it, and then record the commentary. So for me, I was like, let me try a Let's Play. It's basically like a long play, except it's live on the spot and it cuts out half the time. I can record the gameplay and the audio at the same time. And so yeah, I tried this Let's Play. It turned out really well. I think I ended up beating the game, pretty smoothly overall, which is pretty impressive on the Super Graphics version, especially for me at the time. It's 2012. I'd say I was not nearly as good at gaming then as I am now. So, but yeah, that sort of kickstarted my Let's Plays. And so from then on, you guys will notice that, I'm doing lots of Let's Plays and stuff like that. Still doing pickups videos. I did a Sony Vegas tutorial video, which has actually helped quite a few folks. More long plays, more casual look ats. But yeah, I started veering away from the long plays and doing more actual Let's Plays. So in 2011 and 2012 here, this is when I started getting into pinball. So I did Let's Play Pinball Arcade, Monster Bash. I did Let's Play Gunlord for the Dreamcast. Let's Play Adventures of Batman and Robin, which is actually one of my most viewed videos, actually. It still gets traction today. 14,000 views. Yeah, and I started doing room tours and stuff like that. I started showing off my collection and things like that. But I started moving more into, actual Let's Plays. And then, so Let's Plays became, my main content after a certain point. So you can see Let's Play, Let's Play, Let's Play, Let's Play, Let's Play, 1,000 subscriber contest giveaway. This is pathetic. Man, looking back at this feels really pathetic because it took me 3.5 years. Am I doing that math right? Yeah, it took me 3.5 years to get to 1,000 subscribers. 3.5 years. Oh, man. That is such a long time. I don't know why I stuck with it. It's just crazy. Maybe I was just that pathetic and desperate for attention that I just, it didn't matter how many subs I had. It was still addictive to me. So... But yeah, so up to my first 1,000 subscribers, for every 100, I would do a contest, and I would, send someone like a gift card, or I would, send them some games or something like that. So that's exactly what I did with my 1,000. Then I did a big long Q&A session. It was like an hour and 42 minutes long. Yeah, more just Let's Plays, more Let's Plays, and more Let's Plays. And so, this will probably actually... Oh, that's not entirely true. Neo Geo X Gold Limited Edition unboxing, first impressions and review. This was a huge video for me too, because it took me forever to put it together. You know, I had bought this system. I wanted to, you know, do another scripted video. I hadn't done one in a while, and so I put this one together. I'm still actually really proud of this video, honestly. It's, you know, some aspects don't hold up that great, but it was definitely an improvement, you know, in the quality of my content, you know, from the voiceover to the, you know, the editing and all that stuff and the pacing and whatnot. I'm so happy with that one all these years later. So, again, it's just, you know, over the years, I've just kept, you know, once I got on the Let's Play train, I just kind of stuck with it. 2013 was actually probably a better year for scripted stuff though, because, you know, I also did the Hammy Pocket game system review, which is another one I think still holds up okay for anyone that's interested in checking that out. I started to do talking about videos where I talk about just a specific console. It's kind of like my casual look ats or system overviews, but I'm actually on the cam or in the camera. You know, some of the earlier Let's Plays, I actually had a webcam on me, and you know, people seem to like that, but the webcam became a little cumbersome to work with. You know, a lot of times my webcam footage would just fail to save properly, and so it would just be completely corrupted footage. And then there was also, honestly, a point in my, you know, YouTube time here that I just started becoming a little less, a little apprehensive about using the webcam, because, you know, I didn't really feel good about it. I didn't feel like it added anything to the videos, and maybe it's just like this self-conscious thing, but I just didn't. I didn't like the look of my my face on stream or on the Let's Plays, and so between that and the fact that a lot of times the webcam footage would just fail, I just stopped using the webcam on stream, and or not on stream, but on my Let's Plays. So there was actually a bunch of other stuff here that is, you know, some people might remember, but if you're new to my channel, you won't know this. I actually used to post a lot of pinball content here as well. I also used to post video game music. So like I said, my channel in the early days was just super all over the place. You know, it was my place to show off all my interests. So again, video game music, pinball, straight gameplay videos, commentary videos, it's all over the place. And I still have one of my old pinball mod videos here because it was actually linked to the guy's website who actually manufactured this mod. So people can still actually go to his website and see that video. So I left it here as unlisted. But all my pinball videos I split off into a side pinball channel called AKM Pinball Videos. All my dedicated gameplay videos I also split off into a side channel just called Gameplay No Talk. But once I split all that stuff out and tried to make my channel more focused, you know, I just kept going hard with the Let's Plays. Here are all my Castlevania Let's Plays from 2013. It's just Let's Plays after Let's Plays after Let's Plays. And, you know, you could say that the channel just kind of kept going that way. I actually fell back onto some dedicated long plays with post commentaries again, just for one reason or another. I don't know why. And then more gameplay videos that I have since split off to different channels. Yeah, so 2014, early 2015, kind of posed another change for my channel. Is in 2015, you know, this was 5-6 years after I had started doing YouTube videos. I think I had just started to get really lazy with it, and I had also discovered Twitch in January 2015. So Awesome Games Done Quick, or Games Done Quick, the speedrun marathon used to be hosted right down the street from my house, and one of my friends was running the pinball event there. They would have a side pinball setup that was also being streamed, and so naturally he asked me to come out and help him out with it, and that was my first experience with live streaming. And after that event was over, I had to get a live stream set up. I was just, you know, I was hooked, and so I did. I started my Twitch account that next week, and some of these archives here are old Twitch archives. And so while I still tried doing Let's Plays and stuff like that, I was mainly doing Twitch and just posting my Twitch archives to YouTube. So again, this is another way that my YouTube channel was just all over the place and completely inconsistent. And this is another thing I actually kind of regret about, you know, my YouTube channel is, you know, just being lazy and, you know, exporting Twitch archives to it. For anyone that wants to like have their YouTube channel grow, don't do that. Don't export Twitch archives to your YouTube channel unless it's only for Twitch archives. That's a different story altogether. But my channel had been established. It had been around for 5 or 6 years actually almost by this time. You know, I don't think a lot of the people on my channel had really enjoyed that. So most of these are actually completely unlisted too. I don't have them because I want my channel in the current day and age to be really consistent. But I did do a, well, never mind. So yeah, as you can see, it's just Twitch archives after Twitch archive after Twitch archive, and a lot of them is just kind of like, you know, throwaway content basically. And you know, this is what I had done with my YouTube channel in 2015, and not particularly happy with it. But I did do a 3DO unboxing, which was cool. I still like that video. I still have that model 3DO as well, but more Twitch archives, more lazy throwaway gameplay, no talk content. You know, I just got really lazy with my YouTube channel at this, you know, during this year in particular. So I did do a game room tour, which was kind of cool. You know, that was a you know, an edited video, not scripted, but it was an edited video. And you guys got to see the state of my game room at the time, which was nice. We got to toss in some extra Let's Plays, you know, Doom for 32X. Yeah, I'd already done a Doom long play on 32X, but, you know, a live Let's Play, you know, is a different beast altogether. So yeah, still, you know, it's just lots of junk in 2015. Not a really good showing for my channel. Honestly, I'm not particularly proud of this era, but I did do some cool things that actually still, you know, some people are still interested in, like dual play Battletoads. It's basically a side-by-side long play, the NES and Genesis versions of Battletoads, and I still get comments on this on a regular basis. So I actually kind of want to look into doing more of these types of videos, but they do take a long time to edit together, and I have to be able to beat both versions of the games. So let me know if you guys want to see more of those. But yeah, more Twitch archives that are unlisted. You guys can't really watch them. I got into Super Mario Maker, so I've got a time-lapse level creation here. That was actually a lot of fun. I'm glad I did that. I'd say it wasn't really until 2016 that I started getting more focused with Let's Plays again. Yeah, end of 2015, started getting more focused with Let's Plays. We still got some gameplay videos there, nothing special, just really, just throwaway content again. You know, my channel has just been all over the place over the years, and just scrolling back through all the content, I'm kind of disappointed, actually. You know, lots of potential for this channel, just kind of like, I think, flushed down the toilet, just because, you know, I just always went for like the lowest hanging fruit, and, you know, wasn't thinking about my consistency. But okay, 2016, I think in 2016, I finally started getting back on the bandwagon with Let's Plays again. And a big part of that was that in 2016, I got my XRGB Mini FrameMeister. This was actually, you know, we did a donation pool on Twitch, you know, to get the device. And then from mid to late 2016 and on, I basically had been using my first upscaler and would upscale everything. And it was early 2017, I believe, that I started Patreon. And once I started Patreon in early 2017, that's when I think I started to get a lot more serious with my channel, because I felt like, you know, people giving me money and whatnot, I really felt like I had to come through with my content. And so from mid 2016 and on in particular, it's just all Let's Plays pretty much. It's just Let's Play, Let's Play, Let's Play, Let's Play. But there was another turning point in late 2016, and that was I started streaming on YouTube itself. So my live streams from early 2015 to the end of 2016 were only on Twitch. Well, one day my Twitch account got hacked and it got compromised, and I couldn't get into it, and so I couldn't stream. So I said, hey, screw it, let me try a YouTube stream. And so I did, and so ever since then I've been doing YouTube streams. And you know, we can scroll through my videos here and you'll see it's just Let's Play after Let's Play after Let's Play. There's just so many Let's Play videos here, with just the occasional random scripted video, you know, thrown in between, like Unforeseen Favorites, Zoop, which was a video I'm actually still proud of, but you know, it hasn't really gained traction in the, you know, with YouTube's algorithm, unfortunately. But yeah, so while I focused on Let's Plays, you know, alternating Sundays, actually it was every Sunday for a while, and then recently it was more alternating Sundays. I also was doing the whole live stream thing, so, you know, we can sort my live streams by date here. And so this stream here with the smiley face was actually my very first live stream on YouTube. I had wanted to go live on Twitch to play Doom, and again, my account was hacked. But this was my first live stream on YouTube, and then I decided to try to do live streaming on YouTube more often because it seemed like people liked it, and so I started doing more focused thumbnails, focused, you know, scenes and stuff like that on the streams. And we were doing just once in a while at first, but then we eventually went bi-weekly, and then we eventually went weekly on the live streams. We've been doing weekly live streams ever since. So tons of different topics on the live streams, but I'd say from 2017 until now, my content has been pretty consistent, and that just kind of throws us here at the end of 2019. So. But yeah, I don't really know what else to say, guys. There's probably a lot of other stuff I really wanted to talk about here, but I'm just kind of rambling on at this point. We're like almost 40 minutes into this, and but yeah, I basically started off with just a camcorder pointing, you know, it at my TV to grab my footage, and it recorded my voice, and you know, it was really stilted and awkward, but I feel like I've come a long ways, despite my channel just being, you know, a supreme example of a roller coaster ride, ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs. I think over these last few years, we've gotten really consistent with the content, and you know, I think it's helped with channel growth, but I think it's also helped with, you know, people being able to expect a specific kind of thing when they come to my channel. So, but yeah, it's been a long ride, guys. I don't know how much longer I'm going to stick with it. You know, you never know. You never know. Like, I didn't think I'd be here 10 years later still doing this stuff. So, yeah, I didn't even talk about all like the hardware upgrades I've done over the years, all my RGB consoles, all my, you know, multiple capture cards and multiple upscalers, and oh geez, it's gotten crazy. So, but yeah, I just thought it would be fun to sort of go through my video backlog and just talk about sort of the journey on YouTube in a way. Yeah, probably didn't go as in depth as I wanted, but if any of you guys out there still listening, if you want to know more, you know, if there's more information you want, feel free to post a comment down below. Jeez, I can't talk right now. I'm just oh man, I just can't talk. So alrighty guys, that's it. 10 years on YouTube. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for continuing to support my channel as well. So many people have come and gone over these last 10 years that it's been crazy to me. But you know, I'm really happy that some of you guys have stuck around, and some of you guys have bothered to even check out the channel to begin with. So thank you guys for continuing to stick around. Thank you guys for continuing to support. And I'll see you guys soon. I guess stay tuned for the next Let's Play, and stay tuned for the next live stream. So until the next one, guys, take it easy.